Hey everybody, this is author Katie Cross. I have a special treat for you today. I recorded a 52-minute long video session that I had with my audiobook narrator mentor, where he is teaching me the nuances and exciting parts of narrating my own audiobooks. If you've been here for very long, you'll know that I'm deep in this world of trying to narrate my own audiobooks, especially my short stories, some of my other novels. All of the Bianca books will continue to be narrated by Becca Ballenger because she is Bianca at this point. But I'm excited to show you some sneak peeks into the process because it's really fun. So what I did is I took that 52-minute clip and I've edited it down to about 12 minutes, and I've put some of my favorite moments between me and Arthur in it, where I'm practicing reading from the Isadora interviews from a book called Water and Light, where we're talking about plosives and how to use your voice and how to get out of the way of the story. It's really fun. It's a really quick watch. You can watch me make fun of myself, laugh at myself, and embarrass myself in front of a lot of people because I knew that we'd be bringing this recording to you. I hope that you like the behind the scenes sneak peek. There are options to pre-order some of the audiobooks that are coming out right now in the link in the comments, and I hope you are able to take advantage of it because the prices are awesome. You're not going to find these audiobooks anywhere else, certainly at not this price. Some of these audiobooks will only be available on my website, and then you will be able to hear the final product that Arthur and I have been working on for so long. I hope you love it. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, so we're practicing me rolling the sentences out more than just saying the sentences, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll just go back to chapter 1, which is Lita, and I'll just start like
Yeah.
from sentence. I gotta wrap my mind around this. Okay. Lita opened the door of the closet just enough for one olive green eye to peer out. The other eye, the color of straw, closed so she could focus. Rain trickled down the window pane of her small bedroom, and she let out a content little sigh. Hibernating in the warm house when the earth crawled with cool mist was one of her favorite things.
Okay, hold for a second there. Let's go back and let's do just that much again. Um, the I think I can hear you trying to keep it slow in that, which is good because the timing of it is good. Think about more putting the pauses in between the sentences as opposed to from word to word or from necessarily reading the words slowly. So what I want you to do is just look over those first few sentences again, and for each sentence, think about so I'm going to start the sentence, I'm going to let the energy carry it, and then I'm going to reach the end of the sentence.
Okay.
And just think in the back of your mind, get out of the way of the consonants, just let each sentence fall out. And then once you've reached the end of the sentence, you can give it room to breathe and then pick up the next sentence.
Okay. So it's really, I just need to relax.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Yeah. Again, it's that thing I was saying about we're not generators, we're currents. So just remove remove all resistance, and yeah, and then just let it flow out.
Okay. Oh, the other thing I was to say, I found that if I take a deep breath,
Mm-hmm.
it messes me up
Yeah. Yep.
because then I use it all and then I get air hungry and I go,
Well, it's the sort of thing. It's again because a deep breath is not natural. The more
right.
like, and case in point, and actually, it's great that we're recording this because when you're just talking,
Mm-hmm.
there's no sense of clipness. The pace is fine. It's great. And then and this is across the board. All of us, myself included, are forever chasing we're chasing the grail of narrating exactly like we talk in real life, and it's incredibly difficult. Like I will go back and listen. Like I'm getting better at it, but the way that I just naturally have a conversation with somebody, I narrate slightly different than that, because when we're just talking to somebody, we are naturally 100% invested in what it is that we're saying.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're narrating, it's always, even though it's your own words, technically, it's your own words from a different, it's not your own words in the present sense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
So,
feels like you're performing, and so you actually
mhm,
just I feel like I'm in a different mindset right now as
yeah.
I'm looking at this and trying to narrate it than
Mhm.
when I'm just talking to you. I don't feel like I'm in my own way when I talk to you, but when I'm
Yeah.
trying to narrate it, I feel like I'm like
Mhm.
breath, consonants,
And
plosives.
that's not something that Yeah, that's not something that goes away immediately, but it gets better over time. I had one voiceover coach, and this was really more for doing commercial copy.
Okay.
Uh, because especially nowadays, he said you want to get out of the way of announcer voice for commercials. It's people just want sort of a very natural everyman kind of feel. And so he said you have to think about it like you're sitting across from a table and just talking to your friend about it. So he said he always starts, even if even if his copy is something like, mutual life insurance now has a new benefit for you. He would always start with, hey, let me tell you this. Mutual life insurance, it's now like he starts almost with just a randomly like, oh, hey, by the way, like something that just triggers your mind into, I'm just naturally talking. Um, you know, your mileage may vary trying that with narration, but I thought it was a neat idea.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I thought about before I record actually like reading out loud, like the first couple pages,
Mhm.
and then just hitting record and then just starting back over so that I'm sort of like
So
in
it's
the
already
cadence
in
and
your, and you're already in
right.
the cadence. Yeah.
Just like
Mhm.
stopping thinking like starting, then I'm actually like, already kind of with it. So that's something
Mhm.
I thought about. But I like the idea of just like picturing my best
Mhm.
friend over there or
That's it
something.
exactly. Yeah.
And I'm like telling her this story.
Yeah. Your volume level
Okay.
is
I can tell that
mhm. Yeah, your volume level is good. So it's not like you need to, for some people, I find that it helps for them to think about the person being like immediately right next to them. Uh, but I think for you, yeah, if you just think about your best friend sitting across the table from you, and you're telling this story as though it was something that happened to you the other day.
okay.
All right.
Okay. Let's try this again.
Mhm.
Lita opened the door of the closet just enough for one olive green eye to peer out. The other eye, the color of straw, closed so she could focus. Rain trickled down the window pane of her small bedroom, and she let out a content little sigh. Hibernating in the warm house when the earth crawled with cool mist was one of her favorite things. She leaned back into the closet with a quiet snick of the door closing. Straightening her spine, she worked out the kinks in her back with a deep breath. Spending 2 hours stooped over a book in a closet barely big enough for her to lengthen her legs was less than ideal, but at least it was private. No easy feat in a family of 8 children.
Hold for a
With the
second there. That's great. Yeah, how'd that feel?
It still doesn't feel natural.
No, and it's what, but
I felt like I just pictured my best friend. I just pictured Tara like in front of me,
yeah.
and I was like,
So
I can
there were
talk to
certain, when you go back and listen to this, there were certain things that jumped up, like that last, but at least it was private. Like that came across like
the emotion.
the emotion, or just the very, just a very conversational cadence to it.
Okay.
And so actually I would recommend doing that, is just try just taking a couple paragraphs, record them individually, and then go back and listen, and even in your own ear think, oh, that sounded natural right there.
Okay.
um the In terms of technique, your B's are coming in a little strong. I think there was one phrase in there where there were two B's right next to each other, or
Mm-hmm.
two B starting words.
A book in a closet barely big enough.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah, that was, so you gave this, yeah, barely big. Um, and that is one,
That's an awkward sentence, first of
yeah.
all.
Well, and that's
Every time I read it, I'm like, "Oh, what was I thinking?" I mean, it's fine when you read it,
mhm.
but when you're trying to say it, I'm like, "That is a terrible sentence."
And well, and that's the thing. So, yeah, there are some sentences that work phenomenally on the page, and just don't work as well in the mouth. The nice thing is, you will always have the since you're the author. Uh, if you ever reach a sentence where you're like, I cannot figure out a way to make this work or sound natural or something like that,
Yeah,
you always have the option of just tweaking it
that's awesome. I
to whatever
usually
you
put
like.
that as I'm reading a couple
Yeah.
times. I've added
Um,
text or something.
yeah. So one thing that helps with, and this will help with the plosives too, is again thinking about just almost softening the lips a little bit. You to pronounce the B as you're, so barely big enough.
Barely
It
big.
Think about, okay, so actually just take a moment, you breathe in for a little bit, and then almost on a sigh, just breathe in this sort of barely big enough, like just you're releasing everything as you're saying it. Give that a
Barely.
try.
Oh, okay. Barely big enough.
Yeah, already better.
Big enough. Okay,
Yeah.
versus barely big enough. I see that
That's it
the
exactly. Yeah. And so here's the thing.
Can we practice again from a different book? Because I think I've narrated that section.
You know
too
what?
much.
That is a very
like,
good
I think
point.
I have
Yes, let's grab something else. Yeah,
again.
yeah. Let's do that. Absolutely.
Okay, so there's this book. I'm actually really excited about narrating this particular book. So that's why I want to try it, because I think I have an excitement in it that I don't have for this. I love that book I was initially doing, but I keep practicing on it, and I think I just need to get away from it.
You know, I think that's actually a really good point. Is it served its purpose in terms of practicing, but now you've locked in chapter 1 in your mind into sounding a particular way.
Exactly.
You might need to. Yeah.
At the very end. Like I might not actually launch that book first, because I might get a different book out first, because that one I have like a mental barrier against. I don't know. But so I have a collection of short stories that was a Black Friday only special. I only launched it on Black Friday. And it's a collection of short stories that have been featured in anthologies. But before each short story, I have an introductory note where I explain like where this short story went, where it came from.
Nice.
And I go into it. So this might be a fun one to just practice, because it's literally my note.
It's literally your note. Great.
Hey, and then I say, enjoy Avelina,
Katie.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because it's not even just first person, it's first person from the point of view of you, the author, yes. Which means that this is more so than anything else. Straight up, you are just sitting at the lunch table talking to people about it.
Exactly. That's why I'm wondering if I can channel that and then kind of go into the story.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to get in my own way, because I'm literally just talking to him. So we're going to try that. All right. Introduction to Water and Light. This story features Avelina, a girl that popped into my head a while ago and I instantly fell in love with. She reminds me of sea spray and desperation and power. Avelina was part of an anthology geared around self-rescuing damsels. The idea was to write women that didn't need anyone to save them. They could do that themselves. The common theme was fantasy and magic. Let's just say that when approached to be part of the project, I couldn't say fast yes enough.
Okay, hold for a second there. There was one moment where you just, the idea was to, and that was great. That was natural, because there was a natural, like when we're speaking normally, we don't all speak at the same tempo. There's I stressed this word, there was a pause and then moved into so that was great. The last sentence that I heard there, where you, let's just say that sentence, that narration fell into, you're just like, let's just say that it was a little bit too reedy, as opposed to it fell flat as a think about if you were just leaning back with a glass of wine or something, and then just saying, okay, let's just say that and so try the sentences right before that, and then into the let's just say phrase.
Okay. Avelina was part of an anthology geared around self-rescuing damsels. The idea was to write women that didn't need anyone to save them. They could do that themselves. The common theme was fantasy and magic. Let's just say that when approached to be part of the project, I couldn't say yes fast enough. Enjoy, Avelina.
Nice.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.